Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get our chocolate ready for decorating our Petit Fours. Now, I thought I had dark chocolate, coating chocolate, um, to decorate with because it's just easier to work with, but I don't. So now I have to have, now I have to temper this Petits chocolate chips. Now, all the tempering means is that we're controlling the crystallization in the chocolate. It's a little complicated. There's a lot going on in it because I went over my notes for my chocolate class. But basically what we're going to do is we're just going to try and control the crystallization through a method called the vaccination method. And what we're going to do is we're going to melt down this chocolate and heat it to 122 degrees. So you're just going to heat it over a double boiler very carefully. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stir in some chocolate shavings, basically these chocolate chips already cut up into, almost a powder. And what that's going to do is it's going to add already set crystals, the crystals that we're looking for, into it, and then we're going to stir it so that way the rest of it is tempered. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a tempered melted chocolate. Now, untempered chocolate won't set up very well, won't be shiny, won't be strong, will be gritty, will have a grayish look to it. If you've ever had a candy bar in a car and it melted and then it resolidified, that whitish, grayish, tannish film on top, that's evidence of sugar or fat bloom. The cocoa butter in the chocolate didn't set up properly. Okay, so now that we've melted it down to 122, and actually this is a little bit over, but as long as it doesn't go over 130, we'll be okay. We're going to go ahead and introduce in some of the sugar crystals that we're looking for, the fat crystals that we're looking for. So basically this is what makes the vaccination method that we're adding in these little pieces. Okay, and then we're just going to keep on stirring this until it reaches 90 degrees. Okay, so I've tempered my chocolate, and I've just been stirring it and stirring it and stirring it. It must have been like 5 minutes at least, just constantly stirring it, just like this. You don't want to be like only like this because you'll be whipping air into it. Just spread it out, spread it thin, and then go like this. And the way you can tell if it's tempered is as you just dip a piece of parchment paper, and it should start setting up on the piece of parchment paper relatively quickly. It shouldn't take very long at all. It should still look shiny, because that's what tempered chocolate looks like. Now, if your chocolate looks like this bigger one, after a while, it's not tempered yet. It's just going to take forever to set up. So, now that our chocolate is tempered, I'm just going to go ahead and just stir it just for good measure. Now, I didn't stop adding the chocolate powder, chocolate shavings, or whatever after between, little fade out or whatever. I just kept adding little pieces here and there. You just don't want to add a lot at one time. Okay, so let's bring it over here. So hopefully I can do this all in one foul swoop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate with the chocolate two different ways. Sorry, I made a miss. So the first way is I'm going to create a gift box kind of thing that I saw online that was kind of neat. And, oops, this is just not running really well. To do that, you just take a knife and just go back and forth like this to create like kind of a zebra striped kind of decoration. I can't believe I missed that one. That's all you need to do. You don't need to use a piping bag or anything. However, you do want to use a piping bag for what we're going to do next. what I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe something called a filigree. And there's different kinds of filigrees. What I'm going to do is, let's see, this shape. Okay, and that's just one kind of filigree. I'm also going to pipe ribbons on these over here. It's just, I don't know if it's going to work as well. And then a big dot in the middle. And then some curls. And I don't know if I like how that one came out because it's so heavy in design, but maybe on a smaller one. Okay, so I'll pipe a different kind of filigree. I think this one's also a nice one. I think my chocolate will be too hard after that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue piping filigrees and decorating with the dark chocolate. Now I also have white chocolate to use for the pink ones. I don't know if you noticed, but I dyed the fondant pink for the strawberry jam Petit Fours. What we're going to do with those is we're going to use white chocolate, and that's just coating chocolate, so it's very easy to use. And we'll be turning those into gift boxes like we were supposed to for the dark chocolate. And hopefully I can get this all done before the chocolate sets up too much more. See, once it's tempered, it sets up really, really quickly. So you don't have a lot of time to work with it. But once you get used to it, you can time it out better. I haven't tempered chocolate in a while, so it took me a little bit longer to temper it. But if you keep practicing, you'll get the hang of it. Okay, so when we come back, we'll be doing the white chocolate. Now, to release the Petit Fours before I start the pink ones, because I gotta get these ones out of the way, all you have to do is just run your offset spatula against the bottom of it, and it should pop right off. How do you like that filigree? The chocolate was almost set up by that time, so I was like, ugh. Anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and pop off all the white Petit Fours, and when we come back, we'll go ahead and decorate the pink Petit Fours. So I have a bag of white coating chocolate. Now remember, coating chocolate doesn't need to be tempered, which is why I didn't show you how to do it. And all I'm going to do is do a little bit of this, some stripes. The reason I'm using a bag is because some of them I'm going to do as a gift box. See how much easier it is to work with coating chocolate? It's just really quick and ready to use. I mean, like, unless you were making truffles or actual chocolate work or something like that, I wouldn't mess around with tempering chocolate. The only reason I did was because I didn't have any dark coating chocolate, and I didn't want to wait a whole day just for piping. So I just went ahead, and you guys get a bonus lesson this episode, which is great. So for the gift box, I'm going to do this stripe. It's a little crooked. It's okay, we'll do some more. And the coating chocolate's still pretty hot, so it's still pretty runny. And I'm squeezing a little bit too hard, which is why I'm getting that rippled effect. Now, if you notice when I'm piping, also, that's a bad example, but I'm trying to hold it at least an inch off of the product that I'm piping on. And what that's supposed to do is prevent those little ripples and those little wiggles in the lines that you see on, like on that one, how I had like a little bit of a ripple in it. And what it does is it allows it time to straighten out in the air before it hits the product. Well, it's not so easy with coating chocolate, but there we go. Just gotta get used to the product, I guess. Tempered chocolate is almost always the easiest thing to pipe. I found it just, I don't know, once you get used to working with it, at first it can be kind of difficult, but once you get used to working with it, it's like the best one, because you can pipe it really thinly, and it just flows really well, especially ones with a lot of cocoa butter in it. So I'm gonna do one more gift box, I think, because I kind of like it with just a stripe actually. Oh, there we go, nice straight line now. Okay, and so that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and let this chocolate decoration set up, and we'll be done. Okay, so we finished our petit fours. They're not the best, the best petit fours out there. Remember, to make the most professional petit fours, you want them to be exactly 1 inch by 1 inch, or whatever shape you're doing. You want them to be all identical, and you want to make sure the fondant, or the glazing fondant, the icing fondant, whatever you're calling it, goes down all the way around the corners. I had a little bit of issues with it. It's been a while since I've done it, so cut me some slack. But so I did get the corners as nicely as I wanted to. But I was able to get chocolate tempering lesson in with the fondant episode, which was pretty good with the petit four episode. So that's pretty good out there. So remember, the dark chocolate was tempered chocolate, real chocolate, and the white chocolate was actually coating chocolate. And I'll have more information on that on my blog. I'll have more information about how to temper. I'll also have a template or a diagram of how to pipe these filigrees, or what we basically did in school is we just traced it with a pencil, and then we started drawing it we started drawing it ourselves without tracing it, and then until the point where it got ingrained in our brain. Anyway, so I hope you learned a lot. And remember, the Aubergine chef demystifying dessert one recipe